Excuse me. Hey, you guys, we're back on track with our circuit training, rejoining the employment session of it. We're going to continue on through 5 o'clock p.m. today. If you're with my circuit session training, if you're not, 8 hours on your own. If you have an opportunity, take the time to look. Always look for opportunities that are out there, see what the market is like. And it also helps with entrepreneurship as well because you also can see what employers are putting out there. You know, um, if you have an opportunity, go to theartofgoodincorporated.com, where one segment of it is addressing corporate bullying and all the different things that can be impacted from that. Um, Without further ado, we're going to continue on. I have about 3 more hours left. Love you, and I'll rejoin with you at the end of the segment. All right, you guys. So I've gotten to the end of my time for this segment. I didn't enjoy it. I didn't enjoy it at all. It's really difficult for me because, and today wasn't a full 8 hours because I rearranged how I planned everything um, at the last minute. I rearranged it because I found that, realistically that wasn't going to work, even though I was very happy with the way that it was arranged. So I think all in all, because I started probably back at 1 o'clock, and this morning I had 2 hours in for that. So probably about 6 hours is what I did today. I really didn't enjoy it. I really didn't because everything in me has an aversion to it. It's almost for me the feeling, and this is just being honest, the feeling that I get with this is that it's like me having, to me I feel like you have so much potential and so many things in my life that light me up on the inside, that bring me joy, that light me up so that I can be a light to others. But this employment thing is, for me, it's like, and I'm just being honest because I just, it's awful to me. It's awful. It's like you're putting yourself in a situation, even if you're not physically there, it's like you're putting yourself in a situation where you're confined, like a pressure cooker. You have all these different ingredients, right? Some of the ingredients take a lot more pressure to get cooked. And then some, if you put them in there too early, they just turn out mushy and disgusting and nasty. It's like being put in a pressure cooker. What human being wants to be in a pressure cooker? And then you have, like I said, I'm a lot older now, but now you have people that are young because of the type of places that I'm going. It's, you know, there's young people all around. And I don't even know how to say it, but I'm going to try to be as open about it as I can because, like I said, there was a video, I have it pinned on my TikTok, that basically stated that, what you don't address, eventually what you're agreeing to, if you don't address it and bring it out into the open, you're agreeing to hold on to it because these are emotional things. And these emotional things are things that are, internal to you. And so I had to take a restroom break in between. I really didn't want to. I wanted to push through and finish, but realistically, it'll probably take me another hour or two, which I kind of owe the time to this segment to do that. But everything in me detests it. Like, I feel like, I'm at 5 o'clock, right? And then I don't like it. I don't, I can't stress. And I have all that list of those other clutter free workouts. Those are things that, that are important to me. But if I continue with what I'm doing, with the employment thing of it, I'm not going to get there, or I'm going to be so downtrodden. It's a weird feeling to me. It's like, you know, you're excited, for a new endeavor. And now the excitement's running down because I'm kind of old now, but you're excited. You're excited about this opportunity and this, that, and the other. And then you get there, and then it's just like all that excitement. Somebody takes your big red balloon and just rolls it into the dirt, into the concrete, across glass and gravel. And because you're a resilient balloon, you stay okay, you get back up, you're kind of dirty, but then eventually they just pop you, it just pops. And I feel like, I mean, with the type of people that's in this world today, the ones that I see or come across, I mean, it's disheartening. I don't want to be put in that situation. I don't want to be, I don't want to be there. And when I went to that restroom break, I decided, because I had to, number two, I was going to take my phone with me because it's going to take a minute, something to occupy my mind. And it took like 3 minutes. But, I was going through my comments and I had this, you know, late at night or whatever, when I'm, trying to go wind down and go to sleep, I'll get on TikTok and I'll scroll through videos and, the little trends that they have or the little effects that they have. I'll play with those. And there was an effect, like a brain effect. And I got 91%. And I was like, oh. And I got some comment from some little girl, or what appeared to be a little girl, and I'm going to address my feelings and emotions towards this. Something about, bah, ha, 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 help. And then she tagged somebody, Kenny and something Cartman. So I clicked on her profile, and it looks like either a little girl or a young woman, somewhere between 16 to 25, right? Just a Caucasian girl, long brown hair, whatever. And I've had plenty of jobs. You know what I'm saying? But then the person she tagged didn't have anything. And for me, it's one thing to have a spam account. It impacted me. It got under my skin a little bit. It's because I'm trying so hard, and any type of negativity. And then on top of that, I'm almost 50 years old. And for those types of things to affect me at 50, that I would never have experienced prior to this. But what happens, like I said, the end result of the legal system, you go through this thing, then you learn to kind of close into yourself. When you close into yourself, first you're corporate bullied because you shine, right? Then after the corporate bullying and you shine, they're like, okay, we're gonna put her under a rock, and you try to go away, but you can't because they put their claws in you and get the legal involved, right? And then after that happens, it's like, you learn that, okay, people don't like the way that you shine. So you learn to dim your light. Okay. For those who don't know, I have a small nonprofit called the Art of Good Incorporated, and it caters to people. The goal, the mission is for people that are muted, MUTED, and mooted, MOOTED, by society. And those things happen because of, victims of the criminal justice system. Those things happen because of homelessness. You can be court ordered to homelessness. And then because your light shines though, and you learn to dim it, then people start to see, okay, we can attack this. And so now not only were you a victim of corporate bullying and you expected the world to come save you because it's the right thing and the world didn't, could have been a lot worse, but the world didn't come to save you, right? But then you get exposed to peer bullying because you learn to abase yourself. You learn to turn your light down so dim that, you know, you put your own light out. And so now you're a victim of peer bullying. And as an adult, that's pretty tough to swallow. You are a grown person and you're being bullied. And it's not unusual. It's not unusual. It's not unusual. And then on top of that, now you have a stigma not only because you were a victim of the criminal justice system, you know, and depending on how people's minds are, they can push that any way they want, but then you're court ordered to homelessness. And so you being the type of person that likes to learn, okay, you full-fledged go into it. Okay, let's see what this homeless experience is like. And the homelessness part is not the bad part because the word has a stigma that goes with it, because actually I pretty much enjoyed myself. I endured and went through that because I didn't want the system in my business. You know what I'm saying? I didn't have anything going on, but still, I didn't like that entity and I didn't want it associated with me. So the less that I had, the better off I was. And so then it goes from that to peer bullying. And then it goes from that to domestic violence because you're looking for someone to save and someone's looking for somebody vulnerable to pretend to save. And then usually the system's involved in that. So it's just so much. So it did affect me, but I had to think about that. I did remove. I didn't want to, like be back on my phone when I was actively working on stuff. But I thought, and the comment was posted like 3 hours ago. I thought to myself, so, I should, because I don't want that to linger. It's like somebody taking a poop, like a bird poop or some type of poop, a roach poop, any type of poop, and just pooped on your page, pooped on your presence. And it's one thing, like I said, to have something that you can address, but I can't address that. All it was bah ha 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 and an ad to somebody with a private page. So it's nothing that I can get from that to improve on. And so maybe, going forward, if that happens again, and I guess I should be happy because I don't get any real interaction. Um, when I get that, the same thing I'm expressing here, maybe, again, using my words and my feelings, I should express that there. Hey, I appreciate your comment and you taking time to visit my page, but, I'm all about self-improvement. And there was nothing from your comment that I could gain to improve myself or to be an asset to my knowledge, an asset to the person that I am spiritually, mentally. So I need you to do better. Because I don't want to block people, because if that's the case and the way that groupthink is with people, If one person does it, another person, then I'll end up blocking everybody. But I need people. So I guess I need people to, see where I am. But let me think about this in a workplace, like in an employment situation. What if I'm, at a job, and this is a good question, I'm interviewing myself. What if I'm at a job and let's say I have a situation, and I talked about this earlier, and this was something that was hard for me, because when you're at work, you're focused on your work, and that's where you want to keep your focus. You're going to have trolls and people that got too much time, and maybe that's how they leverage. But, I mean, how will I handle that type of situation at work? Let's say, I'm at work and I'm getting like microaggressions, like people are not saying anything directly to me. Maybe there was one person, because they see me being open or whatever, that says something a little weird, and then everybody else is just quiet because they're like me. They really don't want none of that, none of that heat. You know, um, how do you address it? Like I can tell you a situation I had before, and there's this one buzz and fly, and it gets on my nerves, but it always comes at just the right moment. But the situation that I had before was one where um, like I talked about the cameras and stuff, it really gets to me because when you're working remotely, I feel like, if the rule is that everyone should have their cameras on, they should have it on. Do I go and try to uh, police everybody on it? No, but I do notice it, and it's disturbing. It's also disturbing when you have people that are in leadership roles that are not doing it as well. Do I verbally, make an issue out of it? No, because I'm just there to learn and do what I have to do, right? But some of these situations are hard to talk about because I know that they're unjust and I know that they're unfair, but it just takes so much out of me to like recount and retell the story. And I really want to. And this is, you know, but it's just so negative. It's so negative, and it's impacting. And I have to say this, I heard a comment that was made, that, oh, if it's not in writing, then it didn't happen. It did happen. Just somebody didn't have time to address it, you know. And just because it's in writing doesn't mean that it did happen. It's just somebody took the time to want to put out that type of information, you know. And I guess maybe that's why I went through the legal situation because that was something that was published in the newspaper that I worked for this type of position in this type of capacity. No, I didn't. That was one of the issues, and it was clearly put in writing that hey, I don't have a title and a description, and people are throwing daggers at me because they don't know. What's going on. They don't know if I'm there to take over or what the situation is. And what's so ironic is now 20 years later, with me being the way that I am now, nobody would ever think that I would take anything from anybody because I've been so put down and stepped on that I'm like goo, you know. But I can't continue to let that happen. I can't let it happen virtually. And I guess in a way, because there's nobody even on YouTube, I guess in a way I should be happy that people are coming by, and I need to take each and every opportunity, each and every interaction, because I don't get many. I get a few on TikTok, but I don't get many, especially on YouTube. But the comment didn't happen on YouTube. But I should take that opportunity to grow myself. So that's going to be the rule of thumb for me. Each opportunity that I get, but it's hard when it comes to work or employment because that's 8 hours, and I don't want to take it home. I don't want to think about it outside of work. And I've done that before where I didn't want to think about it outside of work, but you're human. So you do think about it outside of work, but I don't want to. I don't want that situation ever again. So, what is the solution to that? And I guess the solution is to find as many things as I can to make myself happy outside of the workplace so that what's inside the workplace doesn't matter. And that's why, I feel like it's so important that you, and it made me cry, almost cry, I have to give 8 hours to this, but it's so important because it's easy for it to take up all your time because this drained me. It drained me. It was only a total of 6 hours. The first 2 hours was okay. I can take those little spurts, but then a full knowing in my mind that I just gave 6 hours to something that doesn't have any love for me, to something that, I mean, I've been physically assaulted at work. I mean, and not at ghetto places, or places that should be deemed ghetto, but it's just, I don't want that situation. I don't want it. I don't know, and I don't know how to overcome that. I don't know how to get around it. Um, there rules and policies in place, yeah, but nobody follows those. Just like the real legal situation in the world, there's rules and policies, but again, if there's no result, nothing's going to happen. If there's no consequence that's going to happen. And the people that make the consequences are based on what's easier for them because it's just a job, you know? So I'm not sure, what to do. Now, again, I'm glad that I had this chat with you two, with the university, because, it's past quitting time. It's 5:19, right? And I just wanted to address it because I set an expectation when I came on that, at the end of the segment, I would come back on just to close, to share my feelings about it, my thoughts about it, where I want to go with it, and so forth. But and initially my thought was I was going to say something about it, but then I was going to continue working. But I really don't want to do that. I don't, because that was the whole point, that you can get caught up and sit here, and I don't want to set that trend for myself. I don't want to set that trend where, and this is after work, I shouldn't even be thinking about it. You know what I'm saying? I shouldn't be talking about it because at 5 p.m., what do we have planned at 5 p.m.? I'm supposed to be working on my own business, but I have to decompress because of this. And this part is not the bad part because it's the beginning phases part. But when you get to the point where you're actually present and you made a commitment and people see that you're committed and, this is something that's important to you, which anything that I take my time to is important to me, then it becomes something that drains you, you know? And, even going in, I don't want to go, and it's so funny, not funny, haha, but this is so interesting because when you think about the equivalent of, if you remember, little kids that didn't want to go to school, probably because they were being bullied. And I never got this feeling until the past few years where I really felt like, no, no, like Kevin Hart would say, I don't want to, because I don't want to, why would I do that? Push yourself in a situation where you can be abused physically, mentally, socially, financially, in every type of way. You get effed, the real word for effed, in every kind of way. You get gang in any kind of way, and it's nothing you don't have no recourse. There's nothing that can be done about it. So I mean, it's just, and if you do, you spend the rest of your life doing it because it's all about influence. You have people that sue people all the time for everything for money. I saw some guy that was, and I don't know if it's that Charles guy, some guy that was talking about he get a job just so he can sue, because he knows that they're going to do something wrong. I know that they're going to do something wrong at each and every job that I go to, but my intention is not to sue. I'm just trying to get out of there unscathed and with enough mental health and sanity when I come out that I can still pick up and try to be me again. And this is the hard part for me. That's so hard, is that I'm getting older. I don't know how much I can hold out like that. Because each time, first you're going to go get something that you don't want. And if you don't want it, it's the reason you don't want it. It's harmful to you in some way. It's negatively impacting to you some way, to your spirit, your soul, your whole being. And then you go through this process and you try to put on a good face and you try to do, the things, in a cheerful manner. But people don't care. And it's just, you're going somewhere to perform services where people are ripping other people off, and it's just like some of it's so blatant. And you know you're not dishonest, so you're not gonna hide. You're not gonna pretend like it's all good, because if you were in that situation, you wouldn't want to be in the situation that they're in. But just like I'm hoping the best for work, these people are hoping the best for the service or product that they're thinking that they're gonna receive. you know so I just, my spirit, and it's not just that, but that is enough, because I've quit jobs before where, you know, I got a job because I needed a job, but then, you know, what I found out that I was working with wasn't good. And then the last one that I had, the same thing, I found out that it wasn't a good thing, but I knew for sure I wasn't going to lie and pretend like, everything was good. But I wasn't going to be, of course, patronizing, but I definitely wasn't going to, it's awful. And it's terrible, like from beginning to end. you know the happiest, I think, is when I'm free from it. But when I'm after the employment situation, like when I'm, I have to decompress from it every day. It feels like every day is like that. And then it's like when you finally get some relief from it, it's like I have to take a couple of months to recuperate. Literally. I have to take I can't just jump right back in. And then even after the couple of months, it's like, no, it's like sending a dog to a bath that doesn't want to go. It's like, no, I don't want to go there. I don't. It's like I'm refusing with everything in me, but you know, the way that I've been trained is that I'm supposed to go. But I know there's nothing good about it. I don't I don't want to. I really don't want to. And then what makes me even less impactful as a person because of it, because in order for me to go somewhere like that where I know it's nothing good, it's nothing pure, it's nothing innocent about it. In order for me to go there, I have to numb myself. You know what I'm saying? I have to become numb and put the blinders on. And even my former blinders, and it's just, even if it's just, I don't like it. And maybe that's why they're basically calling me dumb, because maybe they see me doing this. And I do this because I can't stand to be dishonest. You know what I'm saying? I can't stand it. I can't stand it. To me, that's a sickness. And, I'm tired of it. And I wonder how many people have the same situation where they feel the same way that I do. It's like you really, and I've seen people talk about it on TikTok, but I don't know if you can see the pain. Like, it's not even pain. It's a really detest. Je detest. Like, I really don't like it. And I don't like it for any superficial reason or any petty reason. I don't like it because it's a bad thing. I don't like it because people are ripping folks off. I don't like it because people are being rude and mean to each other. I don't like it because I don't like stuff like that. And I can't. I don't like it. And so I want to do my own thing. But then on top of that, and I'm so working towards it, it's just like, where are the good people? And I have to think about, like, how Mr. Rogers said when he was watching all the people getting beat up, for racial reasons or whatever. He was like, it really terrified him, kind of like I'm terrified by things that am exposed to, semi-exposed to. I'm just aware. I'm sure it could be a lot worse, right? But he says that his mom always told him to look for the good. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to look for the good. But those bad people are around. Like I said, that person that left that comment on my thing, you know, but I have to, I don't know, I have to somehow find an outlook on that that's positive without being um, over ingratiating. You know what I'm saying? Like, I guess this is just stand firm in what I'm looking for. And what I'm looking for, is knowledge, and I guess the power of sharing knowledge and information to kind of grow, you know? And should I mind, like I said on YouTube, I always say on YouTube, I don't mind trollers because nobody's here. But what about TikTok? TikTok is just random posts and stuff. Do I mind trollers there? And trollers, and they're going to be like that, where they say something that's kind of microaggressive. You don't know, you don't, again, when you ever been through the legal system, you're scared to say anything definitively that somebody may be doing. You don't go with your instincts. You say, oh well, maybe, and they were just being, I don't know what the situation was there. But before, let me think of before legal, what would I have said? That hey, they were trying to be smart, and I should have got back at them. So I need to get that back. I need to get that back in me, where I can definitively say that and not feel like, oh, somebody gonna say I'm being paranoid or whatever. But yeah, I need to let people know when things are inappropriate, and I need to be willing to stand on it. But I don't know. I don't have any fight in me. I'm not a fighting type of person. I'm a loving person. I like to love and grow. Um, but so I did screenshot what they had to say. So I might do an independent video and tag them on it, and just to let it go from there. And if it spirals back and forth, because I leave it at that, then okay, it's whatever they said, and that's what it is, and they continue on to the next target. But if I address it, then that will make them, either they'll continue to be abusive and it'll come to a point where something has to become of it, or or it's a way, I guess, for me to reveal what's really going on there. But like I said, normally I wouldn't mind just ignoring stuff like that, but I'm gonna face those types of things in situations I can't block somebody or get rid of, you know. And eventually those types of things, I don't know what to do. I don't know what to say about that, because that, and I think God wanted me to see that because, like I said, I typically wouldn't bring my phone with me, but I went to the bathroom and it took a while, so I took it. But more than usual because I knew it was going to take longer than usual. But I really am not sure, how to deal with that. Um, to me, that is a form of bullying. And I remember seeing a post that someone else made that where they was just like, if somebody tried them this way, what makes you think that my presence will allow that? So something about my presence is making people think that that's allowable. And I wouldn't say people, that's one. Just like when I went to the restaurant and the one guy that lived a few doors down, the way that they behaved. And, I'm so thankful that everybody else that came in after him didn't behave that way because I probably would have lost my mind and been so depressed. But it's just those people, and I have to understand that those particular, I can't put that on everybody. That's those particular people, and yeah, they may have the power to influence other people to think a certain way or be a certain way, but then it's about, I guess, readjusting the focus on me. Who am I, and what do I believe in? What am I doing, and focus on that. So maybe I should just block, but I don't want to do that because I don't have any interaction. So, the other thing would be to block and keep on focusing on my goal, and if they keep finding, let them be the one to keep trying to find another way to kind of get at me if that's their intention. I mean, I've worked places where, when I stopped working there, the person that was involved, came on my social media. I was like, why are you even here? I'm not even, I'm not even thinking about it. And then one of the places that I worked, this guy subscribed to all of my social media, and it was, and I saw him on there, and I still see him around, and it's just so weird. It's like people they have an impression that they want to put on you, and then if they feel that in any type of way you don't agree with that impression or you don't align with it, then they have to make it a point. I haven't been there in years. They have to make it a point that, aha, just like when I went to that legal thing, that detective was like, aha. I was like, are you kidding me? What are we, 10? But, they're like, aha. Now, doesn't that look like what I was saying is true? No. You see me walking to the stores and things like that. Yeah, that means I don't have any money or whatever. But I'm taking care of my business. This is the lot that I have in life, and I'm managing it. You know, um, I do have the heart and spirit to reach out and ask for the input and help of others as needed. I'm always open to, constructive things. But, the part where I have to be careful is, do I step that boundary where I take something that's not constructive and I try to make it into something constructive, you know, and then, it just gives more fuel for it to be non-constructive. But anyways, I do need to stick close to my schedule. I was doing so great with it, but with the employment thing, it really, really wears on my soul. So, I mean, it's, to do something, it's almost like you know that somebody's gonna rape you, but you're like, okay, I'm gonna go just this one time. That's how I feel. This is how the situation, I mean, this is how the situation feels for me. And I'm so tired of people that are just like, oh, you gotta have a job, this, that, and other. You do. Yeah, you do. But, I don't want to be fake at all. I don't like that. I don't want to be fake to have or get anything. I'm so tired of it. And I'm sure that the majority of people, there are people making TikTok videos that, oh, you need to just lie. I don't want to lie. I don't have to lie. And I don't want nobody to lie on me, for me, to me, about me. I don't like lies, period. Lies are the opposite of love, and I'm all about love. But, just from what I've seen over the past few years, people really, I'm really disappointed by what I see. Like, I don't want to go down that route. So I'm just going to focus on me. But the 8 hours, what am I going to do? So, and all of this is strength training. Once I get accustomed to and get my feelings out enough about it, I'll build back up. But I don't know. It just took a lot out of me. I mean, And it wasn't nothing bad that happened in the process of me going through this employment thing at this point. But it's just like you get familiar with it. You see all of these letters that promises, promise that. And then, I don't know which is the worst evil. Is it worse if I don't have any opportunities at all? Or is it worse if I have opportunities and I know that, this is another chance for me to go through the launch cycle? I don't want to do that. I don't want to, but what happens if, you know, because I still have like 20 emails to go through, but I don't want to. I don't want to. It's the time is up because this is the whole thing that I'm talking about. Because you can end up with this employment thing. You know, when you're not employed, you can end up spending all your days and time focusing on that. And then when you are employed, you have this whole full 8 hours, which is actually more than 8 hours that I mentioned before. Then after those 8 hours, I'm not even, you know, there yet, and I've spent thirty minutes decompressing. And this is not even decompressing. This is just regurgitating all the feelings that I have associated with it. And then after I get it all out, I have to find time to decompress because I can't decompress completely. I'm just getting it all out. But I can't decompress means just relaxing. But I can't. I can't because I have something else to do. And so I'm glad. And this is why I say that I wouldn't be able to do the networking thing right after employment because my spirit, my spirit is not there. It's just, it's so, it impacts me so negatively, like even me going into doing the business research for my first, and it's not really research at this point, it's getting shit together and putting marketing together and deciding what you're going to do it. You can look at it as research if you want to, but it's just, even for me, I don't even want to touch that until I get all this hate off of me. I really feel I don't like it. It's like, like there's certain things in my life that I just would not do. Don't smoke, drink, you know, sleazy sexual things. None of that, right? You know, Employment is the equivalent of one of those things that I would never do, but I feel like I'm forced to do it. Um, I don't know if I'm making sense about what I'm saying, but I just don't. So, but I need to focus on the good. The good that I'm focusing on is getting out my marketing themes. Hopefully, getting some people to align with me, hopefully letting people see the good part of me, and hopefully something that they can appreciate. But I'm just so surprised. I've been here in the city for 4 years. I don't have one person, you know. Not one person looked at me and said, "Oh, I don't ever see her ask for nothing. I always see her walking, to go to where she got to get. But I don't think there's anybody that sees anything admirable, and I have to somehow change that because if that's an impression that's already out there, I almost feel, and I said this a lot when I was in a legal situation too, it almost feels like you're screaming at the top of your lungs and nobody hears you, you know? And so I don't know. I got to find some way to make it happen. Um, I'm going to take a restroom break and slowly get into doing what I need to do. But that's the thing, I want to put the thought and mind process behind it. I don't want to just do it just to be going through the motions. I want the heart and soul in it. I want it to feel good when I do it. I want people to see it and appreciate it. So we'll see what happens. I don't know about the schedule because I don't know about 8 hours straight. Maybe I could intermingle, but I don't even know if that'll do it because I spent a good amount of time today, 6 hours or so, and I still got 20 minutes 20 minutes go. But the other thing that I always talk about is never give up because maybe if I go through all these emails, I see that perhaps I've accomplished most of this stuff that's already in here, you know, or maybe I'll miss out on something. But part of me, and this is the kind of messed up part of it, part of me is like, if I miss out on something, then fine, because it's just, I just don't want to spend all this time on this, because I gotta somehow, and again, pointing the finger back at me, I gotta somehow make it so that people love me and appreciate me. And it starts at home, you know. And when I say at home, meaning my neighborhood. You know, if I can't get that here, then I can't get it anywhere else, you know. Um, and I want always to have a good experience, and I want to people to feel good, you know, when I leave their presence. You know, as it stands, you know, if you're just gonna judge on appearance, you know, it's it's not gonna be there, you know. But you know, in a world where people that are broke are spend, but in a world back in the day where people are broke and you spending $60 on cable, you know, it don't make sense. But you're getting Section 8 and food stamps, you know, where you spend it. I mean, the world is so superficial, you know. Um, you know, I would, and like I said, with companies, you can't really blame companies because a company, not everybody is aligned with the same thing. You know, some people know how to fake things, you know, to keep theirs. So they may look like on the outside that they align with whatever the company says, but they don't, you know. So I have a dilemma with that, but I guess God is looking out for me because He's making it that I have to go to the bathroom. So so I can't continue on with this. But yeah, I got deep feelings in regards to this, you know, and maybe I'll stretch or something. No actual exercise routine, but you know, get away to take a moment to breathe. You know, get some air in me. Maybe that'll feel better. But yeah, it drains me. This drains me. So I don't like it. Does anybody else feel that way? I just want to know. It can't just be me. Can't be me. But anyways, I love you guys, and I guess you know I'm gonna take some moments, but I'll see you when I get to my next segment. And this is the part where I might have trouble sleeping tonight because I feel like my heart, you know, says I need to finish going through those emails, but the Maria in me is just like, no, you know, I don't want to. You know, I feel like I give in too much time to employment and employment issues, and you know, I have a dedicated time to that for that, you know. But let me see the oldest email in here. Well, I'm caught up. I'm on today's emails. So, but it was like I had 2 days worth of emails in there. But I just, I don't know. I don't want a job just for the sake of having a job. I guess is what it boils down to. I don't want a job just to say that I have a job. You know, I don't want a job just because you're supposed to have a job. You know, I want to go somewhere and you know, be loved and cared for and love and care about people. And we have common goals that we all work towards together. I don't want a job just to say I have a job. That's not what I want. I don't want that. But anyhow, yeah, I'm going to go run to the restroom. But yep, goodbye for now. If you get a chance, please visit theartofbeincorporated.com. If you're hearing anything that you have an aversion to, it's trauma. It's trauma related to that legal situation, that you know, all of that. But you'll see on the website what it's all about. But those are all things. And like I said, I don't believe I'm alone in this, but I haven't had any direct dialogue with anybody else that has this experience, this and these feelings. Do I see TikTok videos on it occasionally? Yeah, but no direct dialogue, you know, where people are able to connect and relate to me in regards to you know how I feel about this. You know, does anybody else feel that way? I mean, it's just not a good feeling, and I'm not even there yet, but it doesn't feel good. But anyways, I am gonna go for real this time. Love you. Bye.